Mr. Baey Yam Keng.
Madam Chair, I need to confess that I have been an inconsiderate neighbour before. I was staying at my first matrimonial flat, a 3-room resale flat in Toa Payoh. It was a slab block design where the units are side by side and have windows that open into the common corridor. So we were having some friends over for a gathering, and it lasted into the wee hours. Naturally, there was chatting and laughter, and on hindsight, we must have sounded especially loud in the quiet of the night. And our next-door neighbour, an elderly uncle, approached us around 2 a.m., complaining about the noise and reminding us to keep our volume low. The next morning, we heard that the neighbour had to see a doctor because his blood pressure went up after a disturbed night's sleep. So we felt so bad, and we bought some chicken essence to express apology and wish him well. Well, after the episode, we became more careful and managed to maintain a friendly relationship with the uncle for the rest of our stay there. Madam Chair, I shared this because sometimes these things happen when we are not thoughtful enough, not because we have any ill intention. I'm sure members have had their fair share of complaints from residents of issues and disputes with their neighbours. This has become more prevalent these 2 years with work from home and home-based learning practices. Personally, I felt that such matters are best settled between neighbours. So I thank the uncle for letting us know personally and allowing us the opportunity to make amends. If he had reported to the authorities immediately, I could conclude that he preferred a more official approach towards our relations. On the other hand, if he had suffered in silence, I would not have known that it was an issue, might have organised even more house parties. His frustration and unhappiness would have built up without me knowing. The worst scenario would be a retaliation. The uncle could vent his displeasure by banging on a common wall, and that would embarrass me in front of my guests. Perhaps a tit-for-tat war would erupt. Therefore, I always advise my residents with such issues to first talk nicely to their neighbours. Actually, we should go further upstream and make friends with our neighbours when there are no issues. We shouldn't let the first encounter to be an unpleasant one. Typically, a neighbour dispute is more complicated with different versions of the situation. The misunderstanding and mistrust between neighbours is likely to have developed over years. Having said that, there will be cases where there's ill will of neighbours who are just being difficult and unreasonable. I do hesitate to ask the MSO what the government could do more to address such disamenities and neighbour disputes, but with the spectrum of neighbour disputes that MND has come across, I would appreciate it if the Minister could share some insights and suggestions on how such matters could be addressed. Thank you.